I believed her when she said it was an emergency. The coffee shop was half empty that Tuesday morning. I remember because I'd been early, nursing my second cup of decaf when Jessica walked in. My daughter-in-law. She had that look on her face, the one that said she'd been crying in the car before coming inside. "Mom," she said. She always called me Mom, had since the wedding 6 years ago. "I need to talk to you about something." I gestured to the seat across from me. The vinyl squeaked when she sat down. She didn't order anything, just folded her hands on the table and looked at them like they belonged to someone else. "What's wrong?" I asked. She took a breath that rattled. "Our business is failing." Jessica and my son Michael ran a graphic design studio, small operation. Just the two of them, and a freelancer they hired sometimes. I'd visited their office once. Exposed brick walls, those expensive chairs that look uncomfortable but apparently aren't. A coffee machine that cost more than my first car. Failing how? We lost our biggest client last month. Then 2 more dropped us. There's this new agency in town. They're undercutting everyone. Her voice cracked. "We have payroll coming up, rent on the office, the equipment lease. If we don't make payments, we'll lose everything. The business, maybe even the house." She looked up at me then. Her eyes were red, mascara smudged at the corners. "How much do you need?" 50,000. The number sat between us like a third person at the table. I didn't flinch. I'd been a nurse for 37 years. I'd lived frugally. My late husband Tom had left me with a paid-off house and a retirement account that had grown steadily. I could afford it. "And you'll pay it back?" I asked. 6 months. "As soon as we land this new contract we're pitching for. It's a big one. Government project. Almost guaranteed." She reached across and grabbed my hand. Her palm was cold. "Mom, you'd be saving us. Michael's been so stressed he can't sleep. I found him crying in the garage last week. That got me." The image of my son, my Michael, crying alone, surrounded by boxes and power tools he never used. "Okay," I said. Her whole body sagged with relief. "Really?" "Really. I'll need a day or 2 to arrange the transfer. That much money, the bank will want to verify." She stood up so fast the chair scraped, came around to my side and hugged me. I could smell her perfume, something floral and expensive. "Thank you," she whispered against my hair. "Thank you, thank you, thank you." I hugged her back. Her shoulder blades felt sharp under my hands. "One more thing," she said, pulling away. "Could we keep this between us? Michael gets weird about borrowing money from family. Pride thing. I'll tell him eventually, but right now he's too fragile." "Of course." She kissed my cheek and left. I watched her through the window as she got into her car. A BMW, newer model, the kind that probably cost $40,000. She checked her phone before pulling out of the parking lot. I finished my coffee. It had gone cold. The next day, I went to my bank. The teller, a young man named Brandon, who always asked about my garden, looked concerned when I told him what I wanted to do. "That's a substantial withdrawal, Mrs. Harrison. Are you sure?" "I'm sure. We always recommend being cautious with large transfers, especially to family. We see a lot of financial abuse cases." "It's not abuse. It's helping my kids." He printed out the forms, made me sign in 3 places, initialed in 2 more. "The transfer will process tonight. Should be in the receiving account by tomorrow morning." "Thank you, Brandon." "Your garden doing okay?" "We haven't had much rain. I water every evening. The tomatoes are coming in nice." He smiled. "That's good." I drove home with the receipt in my purse. $50,000. The number looked different on paper, more real, more final. That evening, I called Michael, got his voicemail, left a message asking him to call me back. Nothing urgent, just wanted to hear his voice. He didn't call that night, but that wasn't unusual. He and Jessica were busy people. The next morning, I tried again. Straight to voicemail. I texted, "Everything okay? Call when you can." 3 hours later, still nothing. I tried Jessica. Her phone rang once, then cut off. Call ended. I tried again. This time, it didn't even ring. Just went to voicemail. Something cold moved through my chest. I opened Facebook, searched for Jessica's profile. We were friends. I'd seen her posts just last week, photos of her morning latte, a sunset, a motivational quote overlaid on a geometric background. This content is no longer available. I tried Michael's profile. Same thing. Instagram, Twitter, everything. Blocked. I'd been blocked. I sat at my kitchen table for a long time. The afternoon sun came through the window and made patterns on the linoleum. Tom had installed that floor, said it would last forever. He'd been right about some things. I tried calling again. Both phones. Nothing. I drove to their house. 20-minute drive through neighborhoods that got progressively nicer. Bigger houses, more elaborate landscaping. Their place was a 2-story colonial with black shutters and a 3-car garage. The BMW was in the driveway. Next to it was Michael's truck. I knocked on the door, rang the bell, knocked again. Through the frosted glass panel, I saw movement. A shadow passing by. Someone was home. Jessica. Michael. It's me. Nothing. I knocked harder. I know you're in there. Open the door. The shadow stopped, stood still for a moment, then moved away, deeper into the house. I stood there for 5 more minutes, knocking, calling their names. The neighbors probably thought I was crazy. Let them. Nobody came to the door. I drove to their office. The building was one of those converted warehouses downtown. Trendy area. Coffee shops and art galleries and restaurants with names like Provisions and The Local. The directory in the lobby listed their business on the 3rd floor. I took the elevator, found their door, Michael's and Associates Design Studio in sleek silver letters. Locked. Lights off inside. But through the glass, I could see desks, computers, everything still there. Not cleaned out, not empty. I called both phones again from right there in the hallway. Could hear Michael's phone ringing somewhere inside the office. Heard it ring 4 times, then stop. They'd silenced it. They'd heard me calling and silenced it. I took the elevator back down, sat in my car in the parking garage. The concrete walls made everything echo. Someone's car alarm went off 3 levels up. It took them 4 minutes to turn it off. I opened my banking app, checked the transfer. Completed. Funds delivered to account ending in 7,243 at 6:47 a.m. that morning. 21 hours ago, I drove home, made myself dinner, pasta with butter and frozen peas because I didn't have the energy for anything else, watched the news. Weather said rain coming in tomorrow. Good for the garden. My phone stayed silent all evening. I slept poorly, kept waking up checking my phone. Nothing. At 3 in the morning, I got up and made chamomile tea, sat in the living room with just 1 lamp on. The house felt too big. Tom and I had raised Michael here. 28 years in this house. Every room had memories. His height marks on the kitchen doorframe, the dent in the hallway where he'd thrown a baseball inside despite being told 100 times not to. At sunrise, I made a decision. I got dressed, did my makeup, fixed my hair. If I was going to handle this, I was going to handle it looking like myself, not like some pathetic old woman who'd been taken advantage of. I drove back to their house, 8 in the morning. Michael would be up. He'd always been an early riser, even as a teenager. This time I didn't knock. I rang the bell and called out, "I'm not leaving until we talk. I'll stand here all day if I have to." 2 minutes later, the door opened. Jessica stood there in yoga pants and an oversized sweatshirt. Her hair was in a messy bun. No makeup. She looked younger this way, also harder. "You need to leave," she said. "I need my money back." "What money?" Don't play games with me. The $50,000 I transferred to you 2 days ago." She leaned against the doorframe. "I don't know what you're talking about. The money for your business, for payroll and rent and the equipment lease." "Oh," she smiled. Small, cold, "that money." "Yes, that money. Consider it payment." "Payment for what?" "For 26 years of interference. for criticizing how I decorated our house, for commenting on my weight at Thanksgiving, for those passive-aggressive texts asking when we're going to give you grandchildren, for showing up unannounced and reorganizing my kitchen because you didn't like how I arranged things. I felt like I'd been slapped. That's not. I was trying to help. You were trying to control everything, all the time. So yeah, $50,000. That's what it costs for you to leave us alone. Where's Michael? I want to talk to Michael. Michael agrees with me. Let him tell me that. She started to close the door. I put my hand out to stop it. She looked down at my hand, then back up at my face. Move your hand, or I'm calling the police. You stole from me. I didn't steal anything. You gave it to me. You transferred the money willingly. I have the texts, the bank records, everything. You gave your daughter-in-law a gift. You can't take that back just because you're having regrets. It wasn't a gift. It was a loan. Prove it. She pushed the door closed. I heard the deadbolt slide into place. I stood there shaking. Not from cold, from rage, from humiliation, from the sheer unfairness of it. I drove home, called my bank. I need to report fraud, I told Brandon. He pulled up my account. The transfer to account ending in 7,243? Yes, I was scammed. Did someone steal your login information? No. I made the transfer, but under false pretenses. My daughter-in-law said she needed it for her business. She lied. There was a pause. Mrs. Harrison, if you initiated the transfer yourself and you sent it to a known party, that's not fraud from the bank's perspective. That's a civil matter. So I just lost $50,000? You could try small claims court, but for that amount you'd need regular civil court. You'd need a lawyer. How much does a lawyer cost? Another pause. For something like this? Probably $10,000 to $20,000. And there's no guarantee you'd win. I thanked him, hung up, sat in my kitchen staring at the refrigerator. There was a photo of Michael there, from his college graduation. He looked so happy in his cap and gown. Tom was next to him with his arm around Michael's shoulders, both of them grinning. I took the photo down, put it in a drawer. Then I took down all the other photos of Michael. The birthday pictures, the vacation snapshots, the professional portrait from when he'd made partner at some firm or other. All of them, every single one. Put them all in the drawer. The walls looked bare. Better. I called my lawyer, Patricia Chen. I'd used her for my will, for Tom's estate. She listened to my story without interrupting. Do you have anything in writing? She asked when I finished. Text messages. She asked to meet me. I said I'd help. But nothing that specifically says loan or mentions repayment terms. No, she asked me to keep it secret from Michael. Said he had pride issues about borrowing from family. That actually works against you. Shows you knew he wasn't aware of the transaction. So I'm screwed. I wouldn't say screwed, but it's an uphill battle. And expensive. You're looking at legal fees that could run $15,000 or more. And even if you win, collecting is another issue. If they claim they don't have the money, you could get a judgment and still never see a dollar. What would you do? If you were me? She was quiet for a moment. Honestly, I'd cut my losses. Consider it an expensive lesson about family and money, and I'd make sure they never got another cent from me for the rest of my life. I thanked her, paid her consultation fee, drove home. That night, I couldn't eat. Made toast, but it tasted like cardboard. Threw it away. I kept picking up my phone to call Michael. Stopped myself each time. What would I even say? Around 9 o'clock, my phone buzzed. Text message. Unknown number. This is Michael's phone. Stop trying to contact him. Stop coming to our house. Stop harassing us. If you continue, we'll file a restraining order. Jessica. Using Michael's phone to send the message. I typed back. Can I talk to my son? 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. No. You're not good for his mental health. His therapist agrees. His therapist? He's been dealing with anxiety for years because of your controlling behavior. We're going no contact for his sake. Respect that. I stared at the message. Read it again. Again. My hands shook so badly I could barely type. I just want to hear him say it. That's all. Let him tell me himself that he doesn't want to talk to me. The 3 dots appeared. Stayed there for a long time. Then, grow up. You're not the victim here. I threw my phone across the room. It hit the wall and clattered to the floor. Screen intact somehow. I sat on my couch in the dark. The house made settling noises around me. The refrigerator hummed. A car drove past outside. Someone's dog barked. I'd lost $50,000. I'd lost my son. Same day. Sleep didn't come that night, or the next. By the 3rd day, I looked like hell. Eyes swollen, hair unwashed, still in the same clothes. My neighbor, Carol, knocked on my door around noon. She'd brought cookies. You okay? She asked, looking worried. I haven't seen you outside in days. I'm fine. You're not fine. What happened? I told her. All of it. She listened. When I finished, she just hugged me. Didn't say anything. Just held on until I stopped shaking. You're not the first person this has happened to, she said finally. My sister's kids cleaned out her savings 3 years ago. Told her they were buying a house. Used the money to go to Europe for 6 months. What did she do? Changed her will. Left everything to charity. Then she moved to Arizona and started over. She's happy now. Happier than she was before, actually. I don't want to move to Arizona, Carol smiled. Then don't. But maybe think about what you do want. Not for Michael, not for anyone else. For you. After she left, I sat with that question. What did I want? I didn't know. I'd spent 37 years being a nurse, 28 years being Tom's wife, 26 years being Michael's mother. I'd organized my life around other people's needs for so long I wasn't sure I had any of my own. That weekend, I cleaned out Tom's workshop in the garage. He'd been gone 3 years, but his tools still hung on the pegboard exactly where he'd left them. His coffee cup still sat on the workbench, stained and dusty. I packed everything up, donated the tools to a vocational school, threw away the junk, scrubbed the whole space down. Then I went to Home Depot and bought paint. Pale yellow, the color of early morning light. I painted the workshop myself. Took me 4 days. My arms ached. I got paint in my hair, didn't care. When it dried, I bought a desk, a chair, a bookshelf, set it all up, my own space. For the first time in my life, a room that was just mine. I started going through my finances carefully, really carefully, pulling out all the times I'd helped Michael financially, the down payment on his first apartment, the car when he graduated college, the loan for the wedding that never got paid back, the bailout when he'd maxed his credit cards in his 20s. I'd given him over $200,000 over the years, and I'd never asked for any of it back. Never even thought about it. That's what mothers do, right? Help their children. But maybe there's a difference between helping and enabling. I updated my will, left everything to charity, set up a college fund for my sister's grandkids, named Carol as my healthcare proxy instead of Michael. Patricia, my lawyer, raised her eyebrows when she saw the changes, but didn't comment. You're sure? She asked. I'm sure. 2 months went by. My birthday came and went. No card, no call. I'd expected that, but it still hurt. I started volunteering at the library, 3 days a week, reading to kids, helping people with the computers. It filled time, gave me somewhere to go. One Tuesday afternoon, I was reshelving books when my phone rang. Michael. My heart jumped. I stood there in the fiction section holding a romance novel with a shirtless man on the cover, phone buzzing in my hand. I answered. Hello? Silence. Then, Mom? His voice. God, his voice. I hadn't realized how much I'd missed it. Michael. He cleared his throat. I wanted to call. To talk. Okay. Jessica and I are having problems. Of course they were. She moved out last week. Asked for a divorce. I closed my eyes, leaned against the bookshelf. I'm sorry to hear that. I found some things. financial stuff. She'd been lying about a lot. The business is actually doing fine. We never lost those clients. She made that up. I know. You know, I figured it out. About a week after I gave her the money. Mom, I didn't know about any of it. She said you'd given her the money as a gift, an early inheritance. She showed me a text conversation, but I realize now she must have faked it somehow. I never thought. It's fine. It's not fine. She stole from you. I'm going to pay you back. I don't know how yet, but I will. Every cent. I promise. I picked at the spine of the book in my hand. The cover was coming loose. Michael, I need to ask you something. And I need you to be honest. Okay. Did you ever get my calls? My texts? Over the past 2 months? Silence. Michael? She had my phone a lot. Said she was managing my messages. Because of my anxiety. Did you tell her to keep me away? She said you were being harassing, that you couldn't accept boundaries. She showed me some texts that seemed. He trailed off. Seemed what? Crazy, desperate. But now I wonder if she wrote them herself. I should have felt vindicated. I didn't. I just felt tired. Where are you living? I asked. Still in the house. She took the BMW. I'm paying for that too, apparently. She maxed out 3 credit cards before she left. I'm sorry. Can I see you? Can we talk? I miss you, Mom. I looked around the library. Kids in the reading corner, listening to Mrs. Patterson do story time. A teenager on the computer, probably not doing homework. The old men who came in every day to read the newspapers. I don't think so. Not yet. Mom, I need time, Michael. A lot of time. What happened? It's not just about the money. I know. I should have believed you. I should have answered your calls. I should have. You chose her. That's what hurts. You chose her word over mine without even talking to me. I was wrong. Yes, you were. He was crying now. I could hear it in his voice. Please, can we just have coffee? Just once? Maybe. Eventually. But not now. When? I don't know. I hung up. Put my phone back in my pocket. Finished shelving the books. Mrs. Patterson found me 20 minutes later in the biography section. You okay, Ellie? She asked. You look shaken. Family stuff. The worst kind. Yeah. She handed me a book. Read this one. Woman rebuilds her life after her husband empties their accounts and runs off to Thailand. It's actually funny. You'll like it. I took the book. Thanks. That night, I did read it. She was right. It was funny. The woman ended up starting a bakery in Portland and dating a younger man who taught yoga. Completely implausible. Made me laugh anyway. Michael called 3 more times that week. I didn't answer. He left voicemails. Long ones. Apologizing. Explaining. Begging. I listened to them once each, then deleted them. Carol invited me to her book club. I went. Met 6 women my age. We drank wine and argued about whether the ending of the novel was feminist or defeatist. Nobody asked about my family. Nobody cared. We just talked about books and drank wine. I joined the club, started going to yoga. Felt ridiculous at first, but the instructor, a woman named Sage who was probably 40, told me age was just a story we tell ourselves. You're as flexible as you choose to be, she said, in body and in life. I couldn't touch my toes, still can't, but I'm closer now than I was. Michael sent flowers on Mother's Day, big, expensive arrangement, lilies and roses. The card said, I'm sorry, I love you. Can we please talk? I gave the flowers to Carol. You sure? She asked. I'm sure. The truth is, I don't know if I'll ever talk to Michael again. Part of me wants to. He's my son. I carried him, raised him, loved him, love him still. But another part of me knows that loving someone doesn't mean accepting everything they do, doesn't mean letting them back in just because they're sorry now. Maybe someday. Maybe when more time has passed. Maybe when I'm ready to hear him out without my hands shaking. Or maybe not. Either way, I'm okay. I have my yellow workshop, where I'm learning to build things. Started with a birdhouse. Simple project. Came out crooked. Made another one. Better this time. I have my book club, my yoga class, my volunteer shifts at the library. I have Carol next door who brings me cookies and doesn't ask questions I'm not ready to answer. I have my house, my garden, my life. And if that makes me selfish, if that makes me a bad mother, then fine. I'll be a bad mother with $50,000 less in my retirement account and a lot more clarity about who I am when nobody else is around to tell me. Michael texted yesterday. Simple message. Thinking of you. Hope you're well. I didn't respond. Maybe I will tomorrow. Maybe next week. Maybe never. The thing about believing people is that eventually you have to decide if you believe them enough to trust them again. And I'm not there yet. Maybe I never will be. But I believed her when she said it was an emergency. And that belief cost me more than money. It cost me the person I was. The mother who gave and never asked why. And honestly, I don't miss her much. The person I am now, she's still figuring things out, still learning, still deciding what she wants her life to look like. But she knows one thing for certain. She doesn't believe in emergencies anymore. Not the kind that come with price tags and promises and daughters-in-law with cold hands and expensive perfume. She believes in yellow paint and crooked birdhouses and Tuesday mornings at the library. She believes in herself. And sometimes, late at night when the house is quiet and she's sitting in her workshop with a cup of tea and a book, she thinks that's enough. It has to be.